Hey everyone, welcome to part 5 of this trophy guide and walkthrough for Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Thanks for coming along on this journey with me, and a special thank you to all of the channel members who helped to support the channel. Now let's keep on going where we left off last time. We're in Esquie's nest. We want to turn around from that expedition flag, and if we go to the other side of the room, we're able to go into this crawl space and we can find an item back here. Let's go ahead and grab this color of Lumina. After that, we're going to leave the crawl space, and there's going to be an NPC located just in front of us. Let's go talk to him.
Golgra said to shout the password as loud as we can. Well, Gustav, you're the loudest.
Really? Hey.
Come on, don't be shy.
Get out of my way!
Jeez, tu pochino ma parino.
No, it's just it's the password.
Rico femicola, gor grande mare bombino, passwordito, gomiku rapito sava.
Look, I am very sorry. It's just that Golgra told us that's the password, and
Come on, it's a Gestral. He'll have forgotten in about a minute.
I'm sorry.
After that scene, we're going to continue forward along the path. It's a little bit of a run, but eventually some dialogue will kick in, and we'll listen to that, and we're just going to stop there for a moment before we do our next task.
Interesting decor.
Esquie is said to feed on light.
Are you okay, Maelle?
I don't know. Getting a bit of deja vu again.
The light here feels a little, I don't know. Yeah.
If you look toward the right down below, you'll see a mime with a red beret. We're going to go fight that mime, and we're going to get a new trophy for Lune in the process. As with all the mime fights, he's going to start by putting up a wall in front of him. But he comes with some extra protection because he also has 3 shields. Let's go ahead and use Lumina Assault, and we're going to take away all of those shields and build up some overcharge charges. After that, with Lune, we're going to have her use Immolation to light him on fire. And now because he's burning, we can have Maelle use Swift Stride to go into Virtuo Stance. I would recommend, if at all possible, trying to parry these attacks. You should be getting a feel for the timing of the either 3-hit combo or the 4-hit combo, and getting those parries really helps out. Right now with Gustav, we're not quite filled up with our overcharge charges, so instead of using one of our skills, I'm just going to use a normal attack. And now with Lune, because we have 1 fire stain, we can use the Electrify skill to consume that, and we're going to generate a light stain. It's now Maelle's turn, and we've got a lot of AP, so we're going to go ahead and use the Fleuret Fury skill. Because we're in Virtuo Stance, we'll stay in Virtuo Stance. We'll be able to do high damage and also fill up that break gauge a bit more. And now the mime attacks again, so we'll be sure to parry him. Now it's Gustav's turn, and we've got a full overcharge gauge, so let's go ahead and use overcharge to break his guard, and now we can start doing some real damage to him. Now in order to get our trophy, we need to keep using skills with Lune consecutively that use up stains. So I'm going to use Electrify again. It's going to use up that light stain and then reapply it as well. Now, for the sake of time and clarity trying to get this trophy and to make sure that we don't accidentally kill the Mime, I'm going to skip Maelle's turn. And then we're also going to skip Gustav's turn, which gives us control of Lune again. Let's go ahead and use Electrify. This only uses up 1 AP, which we earn every round anyway, so we'll never run out of AP going through this process, and we'll be able to continuously use up those stains and reapply them. And after a few rounds of that, then we're going to get our next trophy. So we'll keep skipping turns with Maelle and Gustav, only focusing on Lune's turns. We'll keep using Electrify over and over again, and eventually you're going to get your new trophy, which is called Perfect Flow. And now we just have to take out the Mime, so let's keep on parrying whenever possible, and then we'll focus on our highest damaging attacks to get rid of his health as quickly as possible. Now that it's Maelle's turn, we're going to have her use Spark to light him on fire. With Gustav, we're going to use Marking Shot. Now that he's marked, when he tries to attack, we'll parry him and do tons of damage with the counterattack. And now that Lune has 4 stains, we're going to go ahead and use Mayhem at its strongest, and that will be enough to take him down. And there you go, we collect some new outfits as well as 2 polished chroma catalysts, as well as a healthy amount of experience. After the fight and collecting our new outfits for Ciel, we're going to turn the camera a little bit toward the left, and we're going to find an item waiting for us in the water. Let's go over and pick it up. This is actually going to be a quest item that we need a little bit later on, so let's go ahead and pick it up, and we'll see that this is a mushroom, an odd-looking mushroom. The fact that it glows means it probably should not be consumed. Now we'll turn around and we're going to run across the water, and then we can see that there's a wall in front of us. We'll use the handholds to climb up to the upper level again. And now we can run straight across this area and then drop down below, where we can find another Pétank enemy. We're going to start by running from the left side a little bit, and that will push him over toward the right side of the screen. We want him to go down the right passageway. So just keep walking him backwards, and eventually you're going to see that there's a path that leads off toward the right. We want him to go that way, so keep circling around more toward the left side of him, and then we'll be able to push him over to his safe spot, which is glowing yellow on the ground. So let's get him into position, and then once he's here, we can attack him. This fight's a bit tricky just because the enemy wants to run away very quickly. He'll begin the fight by trying to attack us. I would strongly encourage you to try to parry these attacks to build up his break gauge as quickly as possible and to do more damage. You'll see that he plans to flee in 3 turns, which means we've got a lot of ground to cover in a short amount of time. Starting off with Gustav, we're going to use Marking Shot in order to mark him. And there's a couple routes that you can take with this fight. I'll show you one successful way to get through this fight, more relying on burn damage, but the other way is to light him on fire, go into Swift Stride to go into Virtual Stance with Maelle, and then mark him and use Per Se to do tons of damage. But in this method, we're going to start off by having Lune use Ice Lance to slow him down and to delay his turns more. And now with Maelle, because the enemy isn't burning, we'll use Spark to light him on fire. Gustav is going to maintain his AP a little bit and just do a normal attack and build that break gauge a bit more.
Let the ink flow.
Now with Lune, we went to use Immolation to build up more burning, and we're also going to give ourselves a Fire Stain, which we can use on the next round. Because the enemy's burning, we'll have Maelle use Swift Stride to put her into Virtual Stance. When the enemy does a ranged attack and tries to lob rocks at you, it can be a little bit difficult to get all the parries, but there is an audio cue to listen to let you know when to hit that parry button. Here's where things get a little bit risky because the enemy plans to flee the next turn. If we have Gustav use Marking Shot, then we can pass Lune's turn, and Maelle will then be able to use Pierce, and hopefully we can kill him that way, but if not, he's running away. So instead, I'm going to use Shatter because the enemy's break gauge is all the way filled. I will be able to break the enemy and stun him, which is going to buy me a little more time. And now also because he's broken, the overcharge gauge gets all the way filled up. Now with Lune, because we have a fire stain, I'm going to have her use Electrify, and that's going to give me all 4 of my stains. Now because Maelle is in Virtual Stance and I have over 6 AP, I'll use Fury to deal lots of damage, and we're going to stay in Virtual Stance. Because we broke the enemy and he's stunned, he doesn't run away this turn, but we still have to kill him very quickly. Now we don't have enough AP for overcharge, so I'm just going to use a Marking Shot with Gustav instead. Back over to Lune. Now that we have 4 stains and the enemy's marked, we're going to use Mayhem to deal massive damage. Now let's wrap things up. We've got Maelle in Virtuo Stance, so we're going to use Pierce. It won't do as much damage because the enemy isn't marked, but that combined with the burn damage is enough to take the enemy down, and we'll get our large amounts of rewards for that fight. We got a bunch of experience, so our characters almost hit level 16. We also got 5 polished chroma catalysts, 1 recoat, as well as 5 colors of Lumina. And because this was the 4th battle where we had some new Pictos equipped, we were able to learn some new Lumina for Critical Moment, Burning Mark, and Stun Boost. After the fight, let's turn around and we'll keep hugging this left wall as we go around, and that's going to take us back to the purple wall in the distance that has some handholds that we can use to climb back up to the bridge up top. Once you get up to the top, turn left and start running along the path and into the tunnel. As you leave the tunnel, continue going forward and go up the first set of stairs. You'll be up on the level with some large pillars. Turn toward the left and we're going to grab an item from this left side. If you go around the pillar all the way in the back, you can pick up some chroma.
We can use that.
Now let's turn around and go back the way we came to go back to the staircases, and we're going to climb up all the way to the top to get a cutscene.
No Esquie.
Bonjour, mes amis.
Hey, bonjour mon ami.
Ciel?
Odd, I don't know. He seems nice.
Oh, it's you. Hello again, my terrible swimmer friend. You finally come to learn to swim?
No. I'm not that fond of water.
Actually, that's sort of why we're here. We need to cross the sea. Golgra said you could help.
Mon ami, a rolling stone gathers no moss.
Pardon me?
In the stories, they say Esquie likes to speak in riddles.
In what way?
I don't get it.
We really need to cross the sea. Would you please help us?
There's a lot of you to carry. I'm strong, but I'm not that strong. I will need Flory,
Who's Flory?
one of my rocks.
Rocks.
See? Flory helps me swim. But Flory was stolen by my arch nemesis. The one whose every step shakes the foundation of the world. The one known as François.
Okay.
Let me guess. François is located deep in Nevron-infested territory, right?
Oh no. He's right next door. Over there.
Oh.
François is my neighbor.
Okay. Well, I guess we could take a look.
Fantastic. Good luck, mes amis. Please, bring Florrie back to me.
You seem to know me.
Yes.
How? I don't understand.
Men trip not on mountains. They stumble upon stones.
Okay.
After the cutscene, proceed forward along the path and you'll go through that door on the right side of the screen.
The more information we get, the more questions I have.
You okay, Sia?
Yeah. Esquie is surprising.
Let's use the grapple point to go across the gap, then turn toward the right and run to the end of this path. Let's pick up the item on the ground. This will give us another color of Lumina. Then we'll turn around and run forward until we get to the expedition flag. Let's go ahead and use that expedition flag. If you happen to have any attribute points that you need to allocate, put them all into might. Otherwise, just rest because we've got a boss fight just up ahead. Let's continue forward along the path before we get a cutscene as well as the boss fight.
There's nothing here.
Who dares enter my lair? You can't just walk into someone's home without knocking. That is incredibly rude.
Is that... Are you François? He's just a talking rock.
Wait, I thought Florrie was the rock.
A rock? I am not a rock. Do you have rocks for eyes? You certainly have rocks for brains. I am clearly a turtle. Esquie! Stop sending hooligans over here!
Stop being a meanie. They're nice humans.
Then keep them on your side of the caves! Now get off my lawn!
It's okay. We'll leave. We're just here for Florrie.
So, not only are you intruding, you're here to steal? Oh my word! Humans! Well, over my dead body! Rah!
We now have a boss fight against François. He opens with an attack, and there'll be a couple audio cues to listen for. After the second one, that's when you want to dodge to miss his big attack. He also begins the battle with 5 shields. Let's go ahead and use Lumina Assault to get rid of those shields and to build up some overcharge charges. Now with Lune's turn, we'll use Immolation to light him on fire. With Maelle, we'll use Swift Stride to go into Virtuo stance. Let's dodge another attack from François the same way as before. Gustav can use Marking Shot. Lune is going to skip her turn. And finally, Maelle can use a Virtuo Stance Marked Empowered Pierce to end the fight. As a reward, we get a level 6 Pictos for Augmented First Strike, dealing 50% increased damage on the first hit once per battle.
Okay, let's put an end to this foolishness. I need to sleep like a turtle.
All this trouble for a tiny rock.
Take it and never come back.
François, you got smashed.
But know that I will never stop chasing you.
But you can't move.
Scram!
And here's a fun behind the scenes fact: the motion capture actor for François was just a water bottle. Let's continue forward along the path after that fight, and we can use the golden rope to get up to the higher level.
François and Esquie are very different from Gestrals and Nevrons.
You think the Paintress created them too?
If not, who else?
Maybe they came from another world.
Let's stick over toward the right side, and we'll go down the path a little bit, and behind the large stone pillar on our left, there's going to be some more chroma that we can pick up off the ground.
Great.
Now keep going toward the right, and then go up the path in front of you. We'll climb up this ledge, go through the doorway, and now just in front of you is going to be an item that you have to jump across the gap to land on this upper platform, and when you do that, then you can grab the color of Lumina. This is the same room where we met Esquie, so just keep going up the staircases, and when you get to the top, then you can talk to him and have a scene.
You got Flory. That's not Flory.
What do you mean that's not Flory?
Ha! I never had Flory! Your rock is still on the Stone Wave Cliffs!
He got me good.
Wait, does this mean you won't help us?
If you promise to get me Flory, then we can be buddies.
Can't you swim without Flory? We saw you flying just now.
Oh, you're much too heavy. I need my rocks.
Your rocks?
Alas, I've lost them all. I can do much more than swim. I can fly into space. I used to fly all the time with my best friend Verso.
We'll help you find your stones.
Oh, how lovely of you.
Wait, François said the Stone Wave Cliffs. Where's that?
All the way to the north. Just aim for the big 33. Ooh. I'll meet you outside.
After the scene, we went to go up that ramp that Esquie knocked down from that pillar, and at this time we also get the Legend Trophy as well as the Esquie's Nest Trophy. These are both just story-related trophies that we didn't have to do anything special to obtain. We'll keep going forward along this broken down pillar, and then we can use the grapple point to go over the gap, then keep running forward. Stick over toward the right side and you'll see a little camp at the end of the walkway, and there's going to be an item that we can pick up off the ground. It's another expedition journal, so let's have a listen.
Expedition 66, Marcel. Damn you, Esquie, and your stupid mushrooms. Your friend ate them with no problem, but it also seems your friend was immortal. That's the sort of extremely relevant detail that you should mention at the start. Oh, stop crying. You're not the one about to die. I can't believe this is the end of our expedition. We've learned nothing and achieved nothing, and we're not even leaving anything useful for future expeditions. Damn it all, I should never have trusted a giant talking marshmallow. Great, and now I'm losing consciousness.
After you finish listening to the journal for Expedition 66, turn around to go back to the main walkway, and then go over toward the right and go up the ramp. You'll use a grapple point to go over toward the upper ledge, and then keep following the path. At the end of the path, before you drop down, go ahead and grab a new Pictos. This is for Energizing Start 3, giving you +1 AP on battle start. Now we'll drop down, we'll head over this little ramp, and this brings us really back to the entrance area where we have the expedition flag. So let's go ahead and use it. We can use the upgrade attributes because now our character's leveled up after the François fight. We'll put 3 more points into might for Gustav, bringing him up to 48 points. Maelle will also get up to 48 points. We haven't assigned any of the points to Ciel yet, so we're going to put all 45 of her points into might. And then with Lunate, we're going to give her 3 points into might as well, raising her total to 48. After that, you can go ahead and rest if you need to. And then we're going to continue on out of this place. So we'll leave the expedition flag, turn over toward the left, and then run toward this burning torch in the distance. Keep going along the path and you'll exit out onto the world map through the large portal. Esquie ability unlocked. Esquie can help you navigate impenetrable terrain to discover new areas on the continent. Call upon Esquie anytime on the continent by pressing square. Esquie will help you move over difficult terrain, find other stones to improve Esquie's abilities. We're now going to proceed forward a little bit, and then turn right slightly, and then left again. We're basically just heading over toward the west if you look at the compass in the bottom left corner of the screen. We'll keep running along between these 2 torches, going through the big gate. Keep heading forward toward the northwest so that we can go into the large portal that will take us back into the Gestral village. Let's proceed forward along the path, and we're going to go back over toward the Gestral Bazaar area. So when you see the chief house up ahead, turn over toward the left. Let's run all the way through the Gestral Bazaar until we get to the other side. Then turn toward the left and you'll see a very large Sakapatate. At the feet of it is going to be a very small Gestral. Let's talk to him. Hey you! What about the arm? You were going to help me build the best Sakapatate. Did you lie? Hello again. I meant to thank you for guiding us to the village. Call me Keratam. Now, are you going to help me or what? That depends. Are your Sakapatatas going to keep attacking us? Well, then no. How will I know if it's the best Sakapatata unless I test it against you? Good point. Alright, how can I help? This shall be my greatest endeavor. It will be the ultimate of ultimate Sakapatatas, the ultra ultimate. Ooh, I respect your ambition. Do you already have something in mind? Something that will make it ultra ultimate? Yes, earth-shattering, explosive, cannons. But I'm stuck. The explosions are not very explosive. Sounds like you need better gunpowder. Oh? I could see that during our fight too. You definitely need something stronger. Luckily, I know just the thing. It's not only more powerful, it's also easy to carry. You want mushroom spores, the blue kind. We cultivated them in Lumiere. They have quite a lot of interesting uses. That is great. I know where we can get some. It was in a grotto somewhere with lots of water. Where was it again? Give mushroom to Keratam? Yes. Oh, you've got the mushroom. Okay, now what? I'll show you how to prepare it. Monsieur Brushface? This is the dog's bollocks. It is indeed. Can we fight? Are you kidding me? Sounds like a yes. This could end badly. Now we have a one-on-one fight between Gustav and the ultimate Sakapatate. This fight's pretty similar to the ones that we've done before, and I strongly recommend that you parry as much as possible just to make this fight go by quicker. We also want to do as much damage as possible, so let's use the powerful skill in order to grant ourselves powerful and increase the amount of damage that we do. Let's continue to parry, which will give us 3 advantages. We do a little bit of damage, we gain some more AP, but more importantly, we're building up the enemy's break gauge, which is very important. Now, there's a couple things that you need to keep in mind with this. Look at the turn order in the upper left-hand corner, and you'll see that there's going to be times when the enemy will attack twice in a row, and sometimes when the enemy will only attack once, and doing the right attack at the right time makes all the difference for being able to hit the enemy's weak spot, which is currently hiding behind its shield. If we can break the enemy when they only have 1 turn coming up, then we're able to focus on destroying that weak point. But if the enemy has 2 turns in a row, they'll be stunned for one of them and then recover on the next turn, and that means that we won't have an opportunity to attack while its shields are down. When the enemy fires its cannons, look at the barrels, and when it glows blue, that's the time that you want to parry it. And you should be able to do a pretty nice counterattack. Now, a really important skill that we have available to us is Shatter, because not only can we break the enemy, but also it will automatically fill up our overcharge gauge when the enemy is broken. So even though I don't have a full overcharge gauge right now, I'll use Shatter, break the enemy, and now I've got a full overcharge gauge. And with enough AP, I can immediately go into using overcharge to greatly build up that break bar again. The goal is to be able to build up enough AP and break bar so that we can break the enemy by the time it gets around to only doing 1 turn, which is coming up pretty soon. So just keep parrying in order to keep gaining that AP, and then when it gets to the point where we're having our turn just before the enemy has 1 turn, we're going to go ahead and break them again, and then we can focus on taking out its weak point. And now we've gotten to that point, we have a full break gauge again, we've got 10 out of 10 overcharges, we've got all the AP that we want, so let's go ahead and use overcharge to break the enemy, and then they'll be stunned for 1 turn. We've still got 5 of our shots left, now we've got 6 thanks to our 6 AP, so we're going to start firing at that weak point on its shoulder that's now exposed, and once we shoot it a few times, then we'll be able to get it to explode. The enemy will lose its arm as well as its whole shield, and now the fight's pretty easy. Well, I don't have a lot of AP after shooting so many times and destroying the weak point, so I'll just use a marking shot and try to get a good parry in. Once the enemy unleashes its full power after destroying its shield, it gains a new attack where it launches things off the catapult on its back. I think the timing of those is a little bit less predictable than the cannon shots, but you can still counter the melee attack pretty easily. Now that the enemy has almost no health left, we're going to go ahead and use another marking shot on it. And then once the enemy takes a little bit of burn damage, the fight will be over. For our troubles, we get some decent experience in Chroma, as well as 3 polished Chroma catalysts and 2 recoats. Awesome! Alright, could we stop now? Thank you for your invention, Monsieur Brushface. We shall treasure it. No need, Tom. It was a pleasure. And now we get a new outfit unlocked for Gustav. Now let's turn around and go back into the Gestral Bazaar. If we look on the right side, there's going to be a large Gestral who's white and blue. He's the one that we can give expedition journals to, and we have collected a few more since the last time that we talked to him, but we still don't have enough to get our first reward. But we did turn some in anyway. After that, we're going to go over toward the right side and go down the path, and on the right hand side is going to be Hexga. The last time we talked to this Gestral merchant, we didn't have enough Chroma in order to buy the healing mark Pictos. Luckily, now we have over 9,200 Chroma, so we can purchase healing mark, which will recover 25% health on hitting a marked enemy once per turn. There's a couple more outfits that we can get while we're inside the Gestral village, so let's leave this walkway, turn toward the left, and in between the two large Sakapatatas, there's going to be a small merchant here. This is Del Citra, and when we choose to trade, we can purchase the Sakapatate uniform for Gustav, and we can also get the Gestral haircut for Gustav. We still haven't found the missing expeditioner, so we're going to work on that a little bit later on, but for now we're just going to turn around and we can leave the Gestral village entirely and go back out onto the world map. So let's run through this bazaar, go over toward the right, we'll go past the expedition flag. Feel free to use it if you want to. Otherwise, keep going down the path and go through the portal to go out onto the world map. As you may recall, when we were in the Gestral village for the first time, we competed in a tournament and we had Maelle be the combatant. And when we did that and won the tournament, we got a new weapon for her, which is actually an amazing weapon. So let's go ahead and go into the menu, choose Maelle, and we're going to equip the Medallion onto her. And you can see that it already starts with the ability to start us in Virtuose stance, which means we don't have to do the setup anymore, where we have to burn the enemy and use Swift Stride. We're just automatically in Virtuose stance. Now let's switch up our Pictos a little bit. Starting with Maelle, we're going to give her augmented first strike. We're also going to give her attack lifesteal. And third, we're going to give her energizing jump. Now let's go over to Gustav and switch up some of his Pictos so that we'll continue to master them as we fight enemies. Starting off, we're going to replace Augmented Aim with Energizing Start 3, and then we'll replace Critical Moment with Roulette. And that means all the ones that we haven't mastered so far are now accounted for, and in 4 battles we'll have them all mastered. After that, let's continue over toward the left, and we're going to continue to head toward the east. We'll go back through this large gate, and then we're going to turn left and start heading north. We'll see a couple enemies up ahead, and we'll choose to fight them. This is a battle against 1 Démineur, 1 Cruler, and 1 Lancelier. This time Luna is going first, and we'll have her attack the mine on top of the Démineur, and then we'll just shoot him and take him down. We'll then go over to the right and shoot the weak point on the Lancelier. Let's put one more shot into that Cruler to get rid of its last remaining shield, and because we've got 4 stains now, we can use her skill Mayhem at its most powerful form, provided we have at least 3 AP remaining. Now it's Maelle's turn, and you can see that we begin in Virtuose stance thanks to our new Medallion weapon, so we can go immediately into our skills, and we can use Pierce to do significant damage to enemies. Even though they're not marked, it's still going to do a lot of damage. And now Gustav will turn his attention to the last remaining enemy, the Lancelier, and he'll use a Lumiere Assault. Well, the enemy is very badly hurt, and when he attacks, we can just parry him quickly to finish the fight. After the fight, we'll get our rewards, including enough experience for Gustav to get up to level 17, and we also got 2 upgrades to our weapons. Our Cruleram went from level 3 to level 6, and the Lanceram went from level 2 to level 6. As you can see, our weapons get upgraded when we fight certain enemy groups, so it's not always a great idea to spend your resources with the curator at camp to level up weapons, because sometimes we get those upgrades for free. The Lanceram provides a lot more power for us, so I'm going to go ahead and equip that now onto Gustav, and we'll continue on. Let's run straight ahead from those enemies, and we can grab another color of Lumina off the ground. Now let's proceed down the path that will take us over toward the east. We're running toward the water. And when we get down there, there's going to be a merchant on the left-hand side, so let's go and talk to him. Hiya, humans. Care for a good deal? We'll choose trade, and now we'll buy the Lumiere shirt. the Lumiere, and Short. This is a new outfit for Gustave, a new outfit for Maelle, and a new hairstyle for Gustave. Now let's press square to bring out Esquie. We'll go over toward the west, and then we'll go north, and we can break right through these rocks that are normally in our way. We're then going to proceed up, and we're going to go straight up the path. At the top of the ramp is a portal that takes us to our next destination, the Stone Wave Cliffs. However, we can't go in just yet because we have to go back to camp first, and you'll be prompted by Maelle to do that when you try to enter.
I'm tired. Can we camp first?
Maelle's Nightmare.
I see why you like throwing rocks.
You've been quiet since you saw those people.
It felt like they knew me. Like, actually knew me. I don't understand what's happening. And I feel like I never understood. Like, I'm always missing something that everyone else just gets. In Lumiere, life never made sense, and I never fit, and now out here, when it was just starting to maybe feel good, then this happens, and...
Yeah. I hate it too. Things we don't understand. They just make us feel small and powerless. But it helps, you know, to focus on the things I do understand, on the people I care about and who care about me. And, you know, now I feel a little less lost, because at least we're lost together. What? What? Stop it. Too cheesy? No. Well, if it makes you feel better, I was even more lost when I was 16.
I heard that was because you were only thinking about girls.
Yep, but guess what? The girls weren't thinking about me at all.
I believe that.
Yeah. You can talk to me, you know. We're family. Well, that's what the paperwork says, at least.
Well, the paperwork probably says we're dead too, so...
Yeah, probably. Ooh, nice one.
I know.
I told you, don't get cocky. It was... okay.
You told me great. Nah.
When we get control of our character again, we're going to be back at camp, but we're not by the campfire area, we're actually a little ways away from that. We're going to run forward just a bit and stick over toward the right so that we can go into this cave, and we can find a new NPC called Sastro, and he's related to the Lost Gestral side quest. Let's talk to him. Are you the one who was supposed to watch over the Lost Gestral kids? Isn't it obvious? Yeah, it's me. You have done a very poor job. Such disrespect. Can't you see I'm sad? Okay, sorry. Wait, you're expeditioners. Yes? Perfect. You like killing stuff, exploring the world, and then dying, right? Well, I need your help. You've heard of the lost Gestrals, right? The Gestrals who disappeared after the fracture? The ones the searchers are, searching for? Well, when the searchers find one, I watch over them until someone from the village comes to pick them up. But 9 of these mischievous imps ran away from me, well, until you brought one back. Where could they be now? They could be anywhere. I really want to become a searcher, but they'll never let me be one if I lose more Gestrals than I find. If you see them, tell them to come back here. They'll listen to you. They like humans. For every Gestral you find, I shall reward you with the most precious of treasures. Is this treasure gratitude? What? No, who would trick someone like that? Good, we'll help you then. Thanks, brave people. Here, take what I already owe you. And now we get a new hairstyle for Maelle. Throughout the game, you may have noticed some of these paint spikes around the world that we can't break yet, but once we collect a few more of those lost Gestral kids, then we'll be able to get the ability to break those and get new rewards and some more challenges. We're now going to make our way back over to the campfire, and then we want to choose a few specific responses when we get there. So starting off, we're going to select the campfire, and then we'll say, write in the journal of Gustave's apprentices. Gustave finds a spot where he can be alone. He spends some time writing in his journal. He writes about Esquie and how incredible it is to travel on such a legendary creature. He hopes that one day his apprentices will read everything he wrote.
For those who come after.
Gustave heads back. And now we'll choose to go to sleep. The next day we're going to find ourselves out on the world map once again, and we want to choose to go into the Stone Wave Cliffs to continue with the story. This is actually quite a long area, and it results in the end of Act 1. Let's continue forward running along the path until we get a cutscene.
Wanna go for a ride? Apparently that was where people went on dates, you know? What do you think happened in those cabins?
No, actually, my guess is this was Expedition 50. You see, they created this giant wheel, and they tried to cross the world.
Okay, Professor.
Mes amis, Florey's close. I can feel it.
Come on, you can fly. Can't you get Florey yourself?
Oh no, too much effort.
So, wait. Esquie is that powerful?
Apparently so, but also lazy.
All right, let's go.
What a weird creature.
After the cutscene, we're going to continue along the path until we get to our next expedition flag. When you get close to the expedition flag, turn toward the left and you'll be able to find some chroma on the ground. Let's pick that up. And now we can use that expedition flag. If any of your characters have leveled up recently, now would be a good time to go to the upgrade attributes option to give them more points into their might stat. For me, Gustav was the only one who had leveled up recently, so I'm going to give him 3 more points into the might stat, raising that to 51, and everyone else is going to be in the high 40s. After that, we can go ahead and rest if we need to, and then we're going to continue on the path forward. Stick close to that rightmost wall, and you're going to go around the corner to your right. You'll find a golden rope that you can use to go to the upper level. And then just a little ways ahead of you is another expedition journal. Let's have a listen.
The 78. Maxence. Stealing the airships. But we knew we had to try. And it worked. We deserve strong leaders, not those old fools on the council hiding under the dome. Under their control, our people are condemned to a slow, inevitable extinction. Their timid half-steps achieve nothing. The answers are not in Lumiere. They are out here. Our only choice is to take matters into our own hands. Fortune favors the bold. We must forge ahead with conviction.
We're now very close to another paint cage. Let's turn toward the left and we'll see it on the ground. In order to unlock it, we have to go toward the right, and there's another golden rope that we can use to get up to the upper level. As soon as you get to the top, aim and look forward, and you'll see the first lock up on the wall. Then as you proceed forward, look toward the left, and in between the 2 rock pillars, you can see another lock in the distance. Finally, go all the way to the far wall, and then look up and to the right, and the 3rd lock is up on the wall. Now let's go back down to the lower level so that we can collect our reward from the now opened paint cage. When we pick up the item on the ground, we'll see it's a new weapon for Gustav called the Delaram. It has a base power of 269, the light element, and it scales with both vitality and with luck. Now we're going to go back the way we came. We're going to run past where that expedition journal was, and we can use the golden rope to get back down to the lower level. Stick toward the right side wall, and that's going to take you along a path that will loop around and get to another item in the back. Let's pick this up to get a color of Lumina. And now there's a new enemy called the Hexga who's located just below us, so we'll sneak up behind him and initiate a first strike against him. These guys are a little bit annoying because of how much health they have. They're pretty tanky, and they start with 3 shields, which means that even if we were to use a skill, it wouldn't do a whole lot to them, unless it was Electrify that would burn through all of that. But instead, what we're going to do is just use a normal attack with Lune, and that's going to generate a little AP and break 1 shield. Then with Maelle, we can use Breaking Rules in order to get rid of all the remaining shields, and we're also going to get lots of AP for this. Now with Gustav's turn, we're going to use Lumiere Assault in order to build up some overcharge charges. Now the enemy gets to attack twice in a row. The first one is usually a pretty easy to parry attack, and I would recommend trying to parry it to do lots of counterattack damage. And on its second turn, it's going to give itself more shields, as well as shields to the other allies if it had other monsters with it. Back to Maelle's turn, we're going to once again use Breaking Rules to take away all of its shields. And now Lune is going to use Ice Lance to hit its weakness to ice damage, as well as inflict Slow to reduce its turns. Now with Gustav, we're going to use Marking Shot to inflict it with a mark. And now because the enemy is marked, when it attacks, we can parry it and do lots of damage. Unfortunately, it attacked Gustav, and because I have Roulette equipped, this time it happened to do half the normal amount of damage instead of double the damage. A little unlucky. I probably could have done a lot more damage if Roulette was in our favor. But now with Maelle's turn, we're going to go ahead and use Swift Stride because the enemy's burning. We can put ourselves into Virtuose stance. And then with Lune, we're going to use Immolation to increase the amount of burns the enemy has. Once again, we're going to parry his attacks and do lots of counter damage. And to finish things off, Gustav has a full overcharge gauge, so we'll use overcharge and we'll win the fight. After the fight, we'll collect our rewards. We got enough experience for Lune to hit level 17, and we also get a new Pictos called Confident, take 50% less damage but can't be healed. After the battle, we're going to continue forward, and you'll see what looks like a knocked over big vase or something in the corner. We're going to turn around the corner here, and we can pick up another new Pictos. This is Breaking Counter, a 50% increased break damage on counterattack. Then we'll turn around, go back the way we came, and we'll go into another one of these vase-like structures, and then we're going to go to the back area of it. Once we're going through here, we're going to go forward and then use the grapple point to go across the gap. And on our right is another item. This is a color of Lumina. Now turn toward the left and then go through the passageway. We'll see some enemies up ahead, but we want to engage them in a very specific order. So ignore the first one that you come to. He's kind of walking around this bridge area. Go around him and then across the bridge. Then turn over toward the left and you'll see another enemy at the top of this hill. Let's go ahead and fight this one first. This is a fight against two new enemies, the Greatsword Cultist on the left and the Reaper Cultist on the right. If you shoot the orbs that are circling around the Reaper Cultist, it'll do a lot of damage to the Reaper, but it also will generate shields for the allies, which can be a problem. You can get around that just by shooting the Reaper Cultist, which is considered a flying enemy, and it will actually be very likely that we will miss normal attacks against it, so make sure that you're using those free aim shots to get rid of it quickly. Now that the Reaper Cultist is gone, we still have a lot of shields to deal with the Greatsword Cultist, but we can use Maelle's Breaking Rules to get rid of all of those shields at once and give ourselves tons of AP. With Gustav, we can really use any attack we want to. I'm just going to go ahead and use a Marking Shot. And then the enemy will inflict damage on itself, generating 4 shields, and then it's a 3-hit combo. You parry the first 2, jump, and then parry the jump. After that, we will destroy 3 of those shields from that parry, and now we can just take away its last remaining shield with the free aim shot, and then we can use something like a Pierce to do lots of damage to him. And now with Lune, we can just use a normal attack or free aim shots, anything we want to really, and then Gustav can just finish the fight. When we win, we get a new Pictos called Energizing Pain. We no longer gain AP on parry, but we gain +1 AP on getting hit. We also get a new weapon for CL called Chation. Now be careful though, because the enemy that we ran past the first time might follow you up this path and then get into a fight with you. Luckily, there is a way to flee from battles. You just got to get through the first 2 rounds of the fight. So here we'll do the 2 parries, jump and parry, and then once again we're going to do that for the second round of attacks. And then after that, what you can do is hold down the left stick, and that will initiate the flee. And all 3 characters have to have a turn, and then you can run away from the battle. Let's go into our menu, and we're going to switch things up so that we can get another trophy, this one related to Ciel and her battle-specific trophy. We need to get her into the party, so we're going to remove Lune from the party, and then add Ciel. At this point, we're going to go into Ciel's character screen, and we're going to equip that new weapon, the Chation, onto her. This comes with the ability that Sun skills always apply 10 foretell, but all damage taken is doubled, and that's very important for getting her new trophy. Now let's assign some Pictos onto her. Starting off, we're going to give her Breaking Counter. Then we can give her Confident. And finally, we'll give her Energizing Pain. And after 4 more fights, then we'll have mastered all of these Pictos and can assign those Luminas onto other characters. Now let's leave the menu and be ready to immediately first strike the enemy that we just ran away from. Starting off with Maelle's turn, we're going to have her use Pierce against one of the enemies. It doesn't really matter which one. And now with Ciel, we're going to have her use her skill, Twilight Slash, to deal dark damage to the enemy and give us 1 moon charge. And now Gustav is going to use Marking Shot on the same enemy that Maelle attacked. Now the enemies are going to injure themselves and give themselves some shields. You'll notice that when we parry these attacks, Ciel is not gaining any additional AP. That's okay, we'll have enough AP to use the skills we need to get the trophy for her. Even without that additional AP, we'll get enough just from the normal turn accumulations. And now Maelle is going to take out the enemy that she and Gustav have been fighting, so now we'll only have the 1 enemy remaining. Now on Ciel's turn, we're going to use her skill Focused Foretell in order to apply 10 Foretell onto the enemy. And because we now have a Sun Charge and a Moon Charge, she's going to enter Twilight mode. We can skip Gustav's turn, and then we're going to try to parry or to dodge the next attack. I am just really bad at that jump attack, so I did take a little damage with Ciel. That's alright though. Maelle can use Breaking Rules to take away all of the enemy's shields. And now Ciel is in Twilight mode, and we're going to use Focused Foretell to get the enemy up to 20 Foretell. We definitely want to make sure that we're not killing the enemy at all here. It's getting kind of low on health, and we need to be able to attack it one more time with Ciel. So what we want to do is to take away its last remaining shield with just 1 shot, and then we're just going to skip the turn until we can get back to Ciel. Now at this point, if Maelle were to use Breaking Rules, it would do too much damage and it would kill the enemy. So we're not going to do that. Instead, we'll just have her shoot 4 times and then pass the turn over to Ciel. And this is the turn where we're going to get our trophy. So because we're in Twilight mode and the enemy has 24 Foretell on it, we can now use the Twilight Slash skill, and that's going to be what's required to get her trophy called Maximization. In addition to the trophy, we get a healthy amount of experience, and because we fought 4 battles with some Pictos equipped, we've now mastered them and we've learned some new Luminas for some of those Pictos. When we ran up this hill, we passed by an expedition journal, so let's go back down the hill and have a listen to it.
Lizette, 56th. In my youth, I mistook drama for passion. Simone helped me understand the difference. Opened my eyes to an entirely different way to experience the world. How can she be gone? How could they so callously, so nonchalantly destroy such a beautiful soul? Vile, vile, vile! They just killed her, like she was a worthless Nevron. Those cold-blooded, treacherous, despicable parasites. But my trap worked. We caught one of those white-haired bastards. She looks human, but I know she's a monster. She refuses to speak, but I'll make her talk, and then I will feed her to a Nevron. Then the Paintress can take me. I don't care. Nothing matters. I will have justice.
After getting that expedition journal for Expedition 56, we're going to go back across the bridge over toward our right, and we want to stick over toward the left-hand side. We're going to go around the large rock structure, and there's a gazebo on the other side. When we go inside of it, we can pick up another color of Lumina.
We can use that.
Now we'll turn around, leave the gazebo, and go forward. You'll see that there's some ledges that go up. Let's start climbing up those ledges up to the top. And on the top level, there's going to be an enemy right in front of us, so let's go over to it and then initiate a first strike. This battle has 1 Greatsword cultist and 2 of the Reaper cultists. Starting off with Maelle, we're going to have her use Per Se. We're in Virtuo stance, so we'll do quite a bit of damage against the Greatsword cultist. Then with Ciel's turn, we can go ahead and hit its weakness to dark attacks by using Twilight Slash. And now with Gustav, we're going to use a Marking Shot to take out the enemy. If you're a little bit worried about if you'll kill it or not, you might want to just put a couple shots into it first with your free aim mode and then finish it off. The Reapers like to do multi-hit attacks, which the timing can be a little bit weird on. Just try your best to avoid it, but luckily they don't do a whole lot of damage to us even if they do hit. Now with Maelle, we're going to have her use her free aim mode to start shooting the cultists. Again, if you hit those orbs floating around, you will be granting a shield to the other one, so just be prepared to deal with that. As you can see, if you just go back and forth shooting those orbs, all you're going to do is grant shields to the enemies and not actually finish them off. So it might be more beneficial just to shoot the enemy directly and not worry about hitting those orbs. Just a couple shots, maybe like 4 of them, will be enough to kill one of these enemies because they are weak to those free aim shots. We've got a couple AP with Ciel, so let's go ahead and use our free aim mode and we'll shoot the enemy on the left a couple times to take it out. And then we'll take away 1 more of the enemy's shields. We'll try for a physical attack, but in all likelihood, we're going to miss. Now, without those orbs flying around it, the enemy only has the option of doing melee attacks. Once again, the timing of these attacks is a little bit weird, so if you get hit, that's alright. And now we'll just keep using free aim shots to break the shields to damage the enemy. I did get lucky, however, and Gustav was able to connect with a physical attack, and that will end the fight. But if necessary, just go to your other characters and use their free aim mode to finish the fight. After the fight, we're going to go forward, and at the base of the shrine in front of us is going to be a new Pictos that's very good. It's called First Strike. It gives us a good boost to our speed and critical rate, but more importantly, the secondary effect is that the character who equips it goes first. Let's go into the menu and then choose Gustav. We want to now replace his Roulette Pictos with that new First Strike Pictos so that he will go first in battle, and that gives us a really powerful synergy between him and Maelle, which is going to make the next couple fights very simple for us. So now that Gustav has that First Strike Pictos equipped, we're going to leave the menu, turn around, and we're going to hop back down those ledges to get down below. Continue forward and over toward the right and use the grapple point to go across the gap. Run forward and stick toward the right hand side, and you can grab some chroma on the ground.
We can use that.
Now turn around and talk to the young boy NPC on the edge of the cliff. It's you. I know you. What do you mean you know us? I've seen you countless times. Yet I've never grasped your essence. You are not from here. From here? This place was made to bring joy, not pain. Yet, pain is everywhere. Like the creature of darkness at the end of this path. It is but one of her many creations. Beautiful in its own way, but deadly, her favorite combination. You mean the paintress? Why is she doing this? I don't know. I wish I knew. It is not like her. She was my best friend. But she outgrew us. She had more important things, more important friends. She left me behind. The boy has gone silent. Let's turn toward the left, and then we can go through the openings in the rock toward the left, and there's going to be a new enemy up ahead. So let's run up here and get into a fight using the first strike. Now thanks to the new first strike Pictos that we put onto Gustav, he goes first, and we're going to use a marking shot on one of the enemies. Now it's Maelle's turn, and because she's in virtual stance and the enemy's marked, we can use Pierce to do an amazing amount of damage, instantly killing one of these enemies. And if you didn't have her synergy trophy already, now you would earn it because we just met the requirements again very easily without really any setup. To take out the next enemy, you just want to do some damage to it, either from a normal attack or one of CL's skills. If you can manage to parry the enemy's attacks, you'll do a lot of counterattack damage and probably just kill it outright, but if you let it hit you, then you're going to get stunned, so just be careful about that. Now we just have to try to eliminate the enemy's health as best as we can. Again, using those parries and counterattacks is going to be the most effective means of getting rid of him. Otherwise, we can just use the spark skill from Maelle to do some damage and light him on fire. We can marking shot him again, and then either dodge or try to parry the enemy's attacks. Now with Maelle, I can use another spark to increase the amount of burning that the enemy has, or I can use Swift Stride to put her back into virtual stance and to regain some AP. And now to end the fight, because the enemy already has 10 foretell stacked on it, we can use a Twilight Slash to deal extra damage and win. After this fight, we'll get our experience, enough for Maelle to get up to level 18, and then we want to go forward just a little bit so that we can grab an item on the ground. This is a healing Tint shard. Now let's turn around and go back down the path. On the left hand side is going to be another expedition flag. Let's go ahead and use that, and because we've leveled up a couple times across all of our characters, we're now able to use upgrade attributes to give them a few more points into that might stat. That's going to raise Gustav up to 54 points, Maelle will get up to 54 points, Ciel is going to get up to 48 points, and Lune is going to get to 51 points. After that, feel free to rest at the expedition flag, and then we're going to keep going down the path in front of us, and when we get down toward the bottom, there'll be a little bit of dialogue that we can listen to by a shrine.
A shrine to the paintress.
The paintress destroyed our world, and someone built her a shrine.
The weak-minded turn to whatever they can to explain the unknown.
When you're at the mercy of a power you don't understand, you might try anything.
Now at the feet of the shrine is going to be an energy Tint shard that we can pick up. Let's turn around and keep heading down the path in front of us. As we make our way down, an enemy is going to jump out in front of us, so let's go ahead and get into a fight with it. Once again, we'll have Gustav start off by using a marking shot. And then Maelle can use Pierce to win the fight. Let's collect our rewards and then carry on. At this point, we fought enough battles with Ciel that she mastered her Pictos and we learned some new Lumina. We'll continue forward and a little bit toward the left to go outside onto the cliff area. And on the left-hand side is going to be another expedition journal. Let's have a listen.
Lucille of the 50th. Our beautiful wheel. Wedged upon the rocks. A casualty of the massive serpent of the sea. But even shattered, its presence is still comforting. Adrian and Gabriel are doing their best to sustain morale, but with no food, no clean water, no way to fix the wheel, our fate is quite clear. Well, to me at least. But I have no desire to hold back the hopes of others. Perhaps. Perhaps we will find a way back. Still, these moments of quiet, sitting on the beach, are also a source of contentment. All our lives we've been running, trying to outrace time, trying to reach an unreachable goal. And now we can finally rest. At least we got to see some of the wonders of this world. Even the serpent, cruel as it is a deadly elegance that is mesmerizing. But oh, what other marvels might we have seen had we been able to keep rolling? I sometimes wonder what it would have been like to grow up outside the dome. Perhaps even live amongst the Nevrons. Could we have achieved a form of peace? Or even prospered alongside them?
After collecting the journal for Expedition 50, we're going to turn toward the right, following the cliff's edge to some stairs, and we can climb up those stairs and then use the grapple point to go all the way to the floating island. We can grab some Chroma on the island, and then turn toward the right, and we're going to grapple across toward the mainland again. Over toward the right, after we land, is some more Chroma. We'll pick that up. Then we can turn around, go forward, and then use the handholds to climb the wall. When we get to the top, there will be a few paths in front of us. Ignore the path all the way on the right and go to the one just to the left of it, and there's going to be a fight against two of the Greatsword cultists that we can initiate. Let's start the fight by having Gustav use a marking shot against one of the enemies.
Take him down.
And then Maelle is going to use a Pierce against that enemy. That's one enemy gone, and now with Ciel, we're going to hit its weakness to dark damage by using Twilight Slash. After that, the enemy will damage itself, giving it some shields. We can parry its attacks. Make sure that you jump and do the counter attack to take away 3 of its shields. And now with Maelle, we're going to have her use a free aim shot to get rid of its last remaining shield. And now she can use Pierce. It won't do nearly the 9,999 damage that it did at the first time we used it this fight, but it still does over 1,000, which is pretty good. Now with Ciel, we're going to use Focus Foretell to give ourselves 10 Foretell on the enemy. With Gustav, we're going to use his marking shot. Unfortunately, when the enemy damages itself, it also takes away the mark, but that's not that big of a deal. It's Maelle's turn. Let's go ahead and get rid of all of those shields by using Breaking Rules. And now we can finish the enemy off by having Ciel use another Twilight Slash, and because the enemy has 10 Foretell, we'll definitely do enough damage to win. After the fight, we get enough experience that Ciel gets to level 17, and I also got a drop of 2 polished Chroma Catalysts. Now this is random, it doesn't always drop from that, so if you're lucky, you'll get it. After the fight, we'll turn left and go forward along the path until we can get into a fight against one of those Reaper cultists and 2 of the other enemies called the Rocher. To begin the fight, Gustav is going to use a marking shot against one of the Rochers. And now Maelle can use Pierce against that same enemy to instantly kill it. It's probably best to have CL use her free aim shots to take out the Reaper Cultist on the left. If you just shoot it without hitting those orbs, you can probably kill it without generating any shields for the Rocher. But instead, I made things a little bit more difficult for myself and I attacked the Rocher. And I'm not super good about parrying all of the attacks from that Reaper Cultist. I can usually get 3 out of 4 of them, but that's not enough to initiate a counterattack. I also didn't even try to parry the Rocher's attacks, but if I had done that, then I would have been able to counterattack it and probably kill it. With all the AP that I have with Maelle, I definitely could have taken out that Reaper Cultist with some free aim shots, but instead I just continue to make it harder on myself and use the Pierce against the Rocher. Doubling down on my stupidity, CL can use a Focus Foretell to attack the Rocher and not kill it. And then I have to try to dodge some more attacks from the Reaper Cultist, which I don't do perfectly again. I'll take more damage and not get the counterattack. But finally, Gustav can step up and take out that Rocher. Okay, now we just have to deal with the Reaper Cultist. We're going to try to dodge its attacks again. And now we can finally finish off that Reaper Cultist with some free aim shots. Alright, let's try to forget that this fight ever existed and just move on. Luckily, now that we've fought 4 battles with that First Strike Pictos equipped on Gustav, we've now mastered it and we've learned the Lumina. After the fight, we'll turn toward the right and start running up the path that will take us to an upper area. When you get to the top of the hill, turn right and go up just a little bit more, and behind the large rock formation is going to be a new Pictos that we can grab. This is for SOS Power. Apply powerful when falling below 50% health. Now what you want to do is either drop off the ledge towards your left and go back down by where we fought the last monsters, or you can just go the opposite direction, hop down this ledge, turn right, and then you've got a straight shot that will take you all the way toward the back of the area. You'll see some lanterns in the distance. Keep running toward those lanterns. You go further down the path a little bit, and then stick toward the left. You'll go around the large rock formation, and then we'll follow these red flowers until we get to a grapple point that will take us to the upper elevation. Before you use the golden rope, go around the building toward the right side and grab the Chroma. Perfect. And now we can go back inside this building and we can use that golden rope to get up to the higher level. And now we're going to run forward and we're going to use the expedition flag on the right. And this is where we're going to end part 5. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that like button as it really helps me out, and consider subscribing to join our amazing community and so that you can stay up to date with the rest of the videos in this series and more to come. I'll see you soon in part 6 where we'll pick up right here and we're going to complete Act 1 of the game. So I can't wait to show you that. I'll see you soon. Until then, thanks for watching and have a good day.